Let's go, baby. You can see him in the background. You can see his head. My puppy. Yo, what is up, YouTube? Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Today, I will be talking to you guys about my top 5 predictions for Smite after the mid-season patch. With this new mid-season patch, a bunch of stuff is changing. Boots, probably the biggest staple in Smite history, is being removed from the game. All sorts of boots are being removed. There will be no more boots in the game. Instead, you'll be getting a slow increase in movement speed at every single level, and I think it's like 3% every level up to level 7, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, boy.
We're just going to change up and shake up a lot with how just the game is played right now. Boots have always been probably the best spike in Smite since ever. Warrior Tabby's given 40 power for 1600 gold. Ninja Tabby's giving 20 power, 25 attack speed, I think, for 1550. Tank Boots is giving 20 prots, 150 health, 20%, and it just got decreased down to 10% CCR. Mage Boots, Lifesteal, 75 power. Cooldown Boots, 55 power, 10% cooldown, and mana. Like, all these items give so much stuff, and Smite is finally calling an end to that, and they're ending the tyranny of boots. I am very, very excited. As you can see by the voice crack little kind of thing. I'm super excited for this change. And because of that, I'm going to give you my 5 predictions that I think will be happening when Smite removes these boots. Not guaranteed that they're going to happen, but I could see a world that these things take over the game. And number 1 is going to be a stone cutting sword. Right now is an insane item. 2350 gold for 50 power, 7% movement speed, and you get 30 prots after 3 autos, and they lose 30 prots after 3 autos. Change to stone cutting sword that's coming through is now going to be 2250 gold, so it's getting a cost decrease. And then instead of going up by 10 and down by 10 for the enemy, it's going to go 7 and 7. So instead of 60 prot swing, it's going to be a 42 prot swing. Obviously, a little bit of a decrease, and I think it needed it because I think this item is, as it is right now, would probably be the best item in the game once boots were removed. The problem, though, is they're making the item even cheaper now. This is a very good spike for items for junglers. It's very easy to back for 1300 gold, get this 5% movement speed, this 20% power. Or if you start the T1 of this item, you can easily stay for the, 1700 gold for full stone cutting, which is basically like waiting for full boots from not having boots. And the reason I think it will be broken and maybe even bought in solo lane by some gods as a rush item, it is giving 50 power, which is more than any flat pen item is giving, more than Jotun's. Actually, I think Jotun's just got buffed and Jotun's is now 52. So it's the same as Jotun's, yes. More than Brawlers, more than Crusher. And it's also giving you some movement speed to make up for that lack of movement speed in the early game. Junglers will now be faster than you early game. They will be shredding your protections. They'll also be increasing their own protections, and they'll have 50 power. Kind of a reason I think solos will be able to use it a lot now too is those early protections from tank boots aren't going to be there, so I could see it as a solo lane item now too. Now, because boots aren't being bought, you'll get this item on faster, which means supports won't have tank boots. You won't have as many protections from the support, from the solo laner, and you will also be reducing the enemy jungler's protections if they did go those tank boots that you saw a little bit before this mid-season patch. You saw those junglers going tank boots, like Lazarus going Gilgamesh and building tank boots, Sir Ketten also going tank boots. Like, tank boots are starting to get abused, and now that 30 protections is going to be around where people are, and you'll have stone cutting at level, I don't know, say 6 or 7. This item is going to feel incredible, and I do think it will be not necessarily abused, but I do think it'll be bought a lot by a lot of junglers, a lot of solo laners, and maybe some warriors, assassin supports might be going to stone cutting too, because I think it is a super strong item. Number 2, Sov is my prediction for the support item that will be going first most games. It doesn't have no magical defense, so I do think in a world that they have a magical ADC, magical jungler, combo that, something like that, we're going to be taking a lot of magical damage. Maybe you won't see the Sov as much. But for a base comp, which is just mage mid, assassin jungle, warrior solo, and then hunter guardian and duo, I could see Sov as the go-to rush item for supports. Now, if Sov does become that number 1 build, number 1 item that supports a building, they will feel, in my opinion, even slightly better than they would with tank boots. The only time it will feel worse is if you're getting comboed by some sort of, I guess somewhat combo mage, like a Poseidon 3 Kraken will hit you very, very hard. The thing that still kind of negates it a little bit is that the health you're getting and then the HP 5 you're going to be getting from the early game. You're getting 250 health for 2100 gold, and it's very easy to go like a Benevolence T1 Sov with this build. So it is, what, 650? You only have to wait 1450 gold, which is very, very easy from support. And then you're getting 35 HP 5, which is an extra 7 health every second, which is pretty insane. Sov is also going to be giving your teammates 15 procs. In that 3v3 in mid, or 3v3 in duo if the jungler is playing the purple buff, you'll be giving your ADC 15 procs, your jungler 15 procs, and you'll be getting an extra 15 procs from the passive, which will put you at 250 health, 60 procs from this item. It's very easy item to rush. It's very stat efficient, and it's the exact type of item you want in the early game. If you get poked from the mage, who cares? You'll heal up with the HP 5. If you take a jungle full combo to the dome, you have 60 protections, 250 health. You won't care that much. ADC will not be hitting you that hard either, and it does allow a little bit of diving potential early. Tank boots didn't really allow that as much because you had to take god damage to proc your passive to get those procs, and this item you don't. And that's why I think Sob will be the rush item. The other item I could see is Stone of Binding. Very cheap, 30 power, 30 procs of each, and a little bit of pen. But I just think Sob fits most games better. And it might be a little god dependent too, but I think Sob is my favorite for being the rush item for support. My number 3, and this one is a little bit of a subjective one, but it is just how I think. I think mages will be feeling even better with this patch than any other role. When you look at how boots affected every role, the two that were the least affected by it were mid and ADC. ADCs because Ninja Tabby was bought every single game, and it's a good spike, but it wasn't like a tank boots rush. It wasn't a warrior tabby out of the jungle, and you only needed 1050 gold, I think, for full warrior tabby, or 1100 for full warrior tabby. And then solos also had the warrior tabby rush or tank boots rush. So ADCs and mids would be having Shoes of the Magi rush or Shoes of the Focus rush, and then ninja tabby. And I think those boots are probably just slightly worse or not as needed in those roles. And I think it will make mids end up feeling stronger than they do right now. And I think mages as a role already feel pretty strong. Being able to go into a Karen's coin rush and 2400 gold and getting a bunch of stats, or a Deso rush or a Divine rush and being able to have flat pen by 5 minutes instead of 9 or 8 or whatever it was. Rod rush, which will allow you to one-shot most people, and it gives you some MP5 too. Mages are just going to be feeling super strong. They just have so many items they can rush. They can start to stack warlocks and it won't feel as bad. They can stack book if book comes back into meta. Magus is going to feel insane. ADCs really don't have that instant spike like a mage does. They have Devs, Ichaival, Trans, all which are decently expensive, or you have to get like 3 autos off with Ichaival for it to actually get its full effect. The one that is a little different is Trans. You don't really need the stacks, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. But yes, mages have a bunch of items that are just insane. Even like E-Staff Rush with a Conduit Gem, it'll make you super tanky and super hard to deal with. So I do think mages will be feeling even better this patch when boots are removed. Number 4, and this one is probably the boldest call out of all of them. I think the rest of them you guys can see pretty easily. But this one, I think Ullr will be a top ADC again. Without having to go boots, ADCs have a certain item that they can rush. If you look at how ADCs use their items, most gods use Trans or Devs right now. Once the patch comes through, Bear was saying that Ichaival is going to be good. So Ichaival, Trans, and Devs are going to be the rush item. Now, Ullr doesn't have to build into an item that he didn't want to build into, which is Ninja Tabby. Ullr is more going to be using power than anything else. He didn't really need the Ninja Tabby. It's just something he built because you needed the movement speed. And it was just a better power spike than Warrior Tabby is from ADC. So now Ullr is going to be able to build into something like a Jotuns for like one-shot potential. I think the meme build, the one-shot meme build with Ullr is going to feel super strong. Maybe not in comp, it won't feel strong. Maybe you'll have to go like a little bit of a Chins build, but like a Bluestone into Trans, Crusher, Jotuns, Heartseeker, and Titan's Bane puts you at capped pen. You'll get a little bit of attack speed. You'll get some flat pen. You have lifesteal in your ult, I think it is. And then you're just going to be getting passive movement speed or passive attack speed. Ullr's also going to be extra safe because he gets movement speed in his 2. And I think all of this, along with him being able to just dominate that 2v2 now because he doesn't need to go boots, is just going to allow him to just run at enemies, one-shot them through the early game, play well into the mid game, and then not having to sell the boots late game for that extra item is going to feel just a lot better. And if you didn't want to go that Crusher, you could just go Aussie instead, and that gives you some lifesteal, some flat pen. Ullr was a god that needed kind of 6 items, and boots didn't allow that. You had to wait until you kind of sold boots to get that lifesteal, or to get that extra pen, or to just even have extra power. And I think now Ullr will now feel better building into it because he'll be able to use his power spikes, and he won't have to wait to sell his boots to feel that final power spike. He'll have it earlier. And I think for that, I think Ullr is going to be a top ADC. And then the last one is just more of a broad one. I think solo lane is going to be a super, super unique role with lots of different opportunities for things to be played. It's going to be probably the most god pool available role it's been in a long, long time. You're going to be seeing a lot of items started, in my opinion. Gods with breastplate are going to be getting played because they don't have to worry about the boots rush against most gods. Mystical Mail is going to be insane. Stone Cutting's got some opportunity to be played over there. There's a lot of items. Berserker's got buffed. I think Berserker's going to be a decent item over there. Shifters is still strong. Glad's is going to be good late game. And they have those mid-game power spikes that they've always had. But now you don't have to fight against the tank boots Arthur. You can actually kill him if he doesn't go some prots early to combine with his power. And just that cheap, quick power spike of tank boots isn't there anymore. And it's the same thing with Cullen. Guan was a good god that abused tank boots. And I think Guan will still be fine because he's got breastplate, but he won't be doing as much damage nor have that tankiness early. He'll have to wait, finish that 2,300 gold breastplate item. And I think now it makes those early games that you can exploit of Arthur and Cullen a little bit more reasonable. They won't have those early tank boots, and same with Guan. And I think that will make solo lane actually feel like there's multiple gods that are able to be played. I could be wrong because I'm not a solo laner, but that's just my prediction and what I'm thinking from this role. Maybe Bluestone comes out, Bluestone, Mystical Male, Arthur, OP, Cullen, OP with that, and they're just impossible to be fought. Maybe that happens, maybe I'm wrong, but those are my 5 predictions for the midseason patch and what I think will be played. If you guys like the video, please like, comment, subscribe. If you guys have any prediction for yourself, please throw it down in the comments below. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. See you next time. Peace.